Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I am talking about Halloween Party by Agatha Christie. And this is from William Morrow, HarperCollins. This is a Hercule Poirot mystery, one of the later ones. This came out in 1969. This is part of my Halloween reading, but it is not one that I had planned on. It is certainly not in the video that I posted, where I showed a bunch of the stuff I planned on reading. But I keep looking around, trying to find more Halloween-themed or Halloween-timed books, and this came up, so I figured I'd check it out. So, Agatha Christie. Actually, if you look, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this. This is the third to last Hercule Poirot, it looks like. If you look here, there's a list of all the Hercule Poirots. Halloween Party is way down there. So there you go. All right, so in this book, this woman is hosting a Halloween party for kids, and as they're preparing for the party, there's a bunch of adults, there's a bunch of kids, and one of the guests is this woman that writes mysteries, and so people start talking about mysteries and murders and things, and this 13-year-old girl says that she once witnessed a murder. And everybody's like, you're full of crap. You know, why didn't you tell anybody? When did this happen? She's like, it was a couple years ago, and I didn't realize when I witnessed it that it was a murder. And everybody's like, yeah, you're still full of crap. And then after the Halloween party, that girl is found murdered. And so the woman that writes mysteries, the mystery author, is a friend of Hercule Poirot. My mouth is not shaped properly to say his name well. The mystery author knows Hercule Poirot, and so she goes to him and says, hey, can you come to this small town, figure out who killed this 13-year-old girl. That's it. That's basically everything that's on the back cover. I gave this, I'll tell you right now, in Goodreads, I gave it 3 out of 5. It's fine. I'm not a huge Agatha Christie fan. I've read a little bit of her stuff. And it's, I can't even say if you were an Agatha Christie fan, you're going to love this book. I can't say that because I don't know enough to be able to say that. I thought it was interesting. It's a cozy mystery type of thing. And Hercule Poirot is an interesting character, very popular, especially now with maybe not now, with the new versions of Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile with Kenneth Branagh. But he is a popular character. He's Belgian. He's got a big mustache. And so the setup for the story is interesting, and the introduction of the characters is interesting. But once Poirot starts investigating, I felt it gets a little bogged down. A lot of people saying the same things over and over and over again. And it's sort of, he's questioning this, say, the first person, and they say all this stuff. And then he questions the next person, and they say almost all of that stuff and something a little new. And then he questions the next person, and they say almost all of that stuff and then something a little new. So there's a lot, I felt there was a lot of repetition. A lot of people in this little town think that there's just a bunch of nut jobs running around. And that's basically how they say it in here. People with mental health issues running around because nobody wants to believe that somebody from their town would have done this. So over and over and over again, we get characters saying, oh, it's probably just some random crazy person that saw the lights on in the house, came in, killed this 13-year-old girl. But of course, we know that's not going to be the case because it's an Agatha Christie. And then some stuff from the past comes up. Poirot is trying to fit all the pieces together. And we meet some interesting characters. It feels like there's a lot of white privilege going on in here. But I actually thought about this watching some older movies. Old, like black and white. I hate to say it was just British privilege, but in these particular movies, they happen to be British characters that are basically, and maybe it's a British thing, not necessarily a white thing, where it's just like, oh, you can't talk to me that way. How dare you? But anyway, it's polite society in this book. Oh, I don't want to speak ill of anyone. Of course, then they always do. There are some really fun scenes with Poirot himself when we talk about his mustache and the fact that he's wearing shoes that make his feet hurt. It's the little human moments that I appreciated, I think, the most. But it is a classic Agatha Christie mystery. You have the detective. He's just questioning people, trying to piece things together. There are a couple... Now, it starts before Poirot comes into the story with the setup of the party. And then the mystery author goes to Poirot, and I believe that's when we learn that this 13-year-old girl has been murdered. And then, for the most part, from then on, it's Poirot's POV, except for I think there's 2 chapters. These just weird sort of outlying chapters where we follow a different character. And follow is, they don't go anywhere. One is just a dude sitting in his office thinking about thoughts that Poirot stirred up in his head. It was a little odd. Nothing wrong with it, just a little jarring. But, so again, I gave it a 3 out of 5. I liked it. It didn't blow me away. I couldn't even say where this falls in Agatha Christie's bibliography. If it's, I don't know what, the Christie heads think of it. I read it because it's called the Halloween Party, and I don't feel I wasted my time. It was fine. I'm trying to remember. I've read, as I said, a few other Agatha Christie's, and I don't know, it's probably the same as the other ones I read. Not a huge fan. But anyway, that's Halloween Party by Agatha Christie. If you like this type of thing, I think you're going to like this. If you're me, and this isn't really your thing, it was fine. 3 out of 5 means I liked it. It was an interesting mystery. I do like Poirot as a character. The foreigner, he's, the Belgian detective living in England. Yeah. I'd recommend it. Not necessarily, you don't have to read it around Halloween. You can read it anytime. But that's Halloween Party by Agatha Christie. So, I guess my question for this video is, do you like cozy mysteries? Are you a fan of Agatha Christie? Do you read any of the thousands, I don't know, at least hundreds and hundreds of different cozy mysteries that are out there? Not just these sorts of things, locked room mysteries. This wasn't a locked room, but they're sometimes known as locked room mysteries. Nowadays, the cozy mysteries are, there's the person solving the crime owns a bookshop or a coffee shop or is a quilter or a stamp collector. There's always some sort of theme. Sometimes there's a supernatural element to it a little bit. And there's just tons and tons of these. The Cat Who, which if you've watched my Reading Remembrances, I've gone over a bunch of the Lillian Jackson Braun, the Cat Who mysteries. Those are considered cozy mysteries. So for me, I could take them or leave them. It would have to be a really great author with a really great theme. For me, at this point, I prefer my mysteries hard boiled. But nothing wrong with cozy mysteries. What do you think? Have you ever read any, for that matter? And I think I asked this once before. Like, what theme would maybe draw you in? I wonder if there's like comic book. I know Max Allan Collins has some comic book themed mysteries, but I think those were more in the hard-boiled vein. I wonder if there's like a comic book shop owner who's in a small town who solves mysteries. That might draw me in, because I would assume it would have lots of like comic book references, which I would find cool. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here at the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter is @Ronin5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is EricSmith5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH5757. That's all I have. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Eric Smith, and until next time, read more books.